I'm 680 News Senior Business Editor Mike Eppel. Had a choppy start to the trading week on markets globally. The TSX came in close to a record high after setting records in 4 of 5 trading days last week. The TSX up 18% for the year, but today a little bit of profit taking in the bank stocks after some of those banks had actually set some records for the number of days that they traded higher. One was the TD Bank, up 13 days in a row before today, longest in company history. The CIBC had been up for 11 sessions in a row. The price for oil was mixed today for the most part because investors can't figure out the exact timeline for when Saudi Arabia will be back up to at least full production or close to it from the damage from those drone strikes on their production facilities more than a week ago. Wall Street Journal saying today that they're hearing it could be months, not weeks, before the Saudis are back up to full supply. And we also saw a downdraft on Canadian telecom stocks today, with the federal Liberals pledging to reduce wireless rates by as much as 25% if elected in the federal election. They're talking about talking to the wireless providers, and if they don't get some sort of an agreement, then forcing it through regulation. Telecom companies were all down on Bay Street today. Well, it is the collapse of the oldest travel company in the world. Thomas Cook Group went out of business over the weekend, faced with mounting debts, couldn't get a deal with the creditors, and hundreds of thousands of people have been affected on their travel globally. 150,000 Brits and upwards of maybe 500,000 people worldwide, as Thomas Cook had 21,000 employees globally, operated 4 airlines, travel sites in 16 countries. As for impact on Canada, Robert Kokonis, the president of Air Trav Inc., says it's actually relatively minimal.
Thomas Cook had a relatively small footprint in Canada. They actually had 5 different airline divisions, one of whom is called Condor of Germany, that flew some seasonal flights between Toronto and Frankfurt, and I believe Condor also had some seasonal flights into Whitehorse, Yukon. But other than that, Thomas Cook Group really has had a very, very small presence in this country, so there won't be much of an uptick in business, for example, for Transat, Air Canada, WestJet.
We did see shares of Air Canada and WestJet rise a little bit in today's trade. General Motors strike, day number 8 in the U.S. 49,000 employees remain off the job. 55 plants closed stateside. They held more negotiations on a 4-year contract over the weekend. Some progress reportedly made, but still nowhere near a deal to settle what is becoming a very expensive strike for the biggest U.S. automaker. As for the Canadian operations, the plant in Oshawa remains closed down. Much of the production facility at the engine plant in St. Catharines also on temporary furlough because of a lack of parts coming in from the United States. From the 680 Newsroom, I'm Mike Eppel for City News.